girl, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Joy. On this channel I create lifestyle content focused on becoming a better version of you while having fun with it. And today we are celebrating the end of an era, but not really. It's the end of the semester. We made it, girl, the end of the semester. Oh my God, I have so many things. So if you're new, you don't know what I'm talking about, I created a going back to school in your 30s video that got tons and tons of just comments and love, and just honestly that video warms my heart because the amount of times people comment and say like, thank you for making this video, it was so helpful, I'm going back to school, or I am in school, and it just really made me feel secure and happy. Like, y'all don't understand, you made my day. Every comment, every like made my day. So I figured to turn it into a full-blown series. That video was helpful. I can continue on the process because there are so many milestones we're going to hit, and there will be times where we just want to quit because baby, this semester I was finna quit. But we hung in there and it's done. Oh my God, I'm so happy. This video is focusing on overall thoughts and the things that I learned. So if you want to take out your notebook and pen, if you are going back to school or plan on it, or you're about to enter the next semester and you really want to know what's going on, stick around, okay? Because we gonna get down to the nitty gritty. We ain't playing no games. It's all transparency here. So I actually made notes of what I wanted to talk about, so I'm gonna go there. So my initial thoughts going in, first of all, I was thrown in. If you don't know the backstory, go watch my first video that talks about why I'm going back to school. The initial thought, it was definitely scary. You will have a lot of bumps in the road. You do have to stay on task. When I first started, I thought I was gonna be able to do so many different things, and it turns out I was not able to do anything but focus on class. I did go to 1 or 2 workshops, but realistically, it just wasn't going to be the same experience that I once had. When you're going back to school, that should be the focus. It shouldn't be on trying to be in every single thing. If you wanted to you had the thought of wanting to do different things, focus on your classes first. In this first semester, focus on your classes, making sure that you understand your syllabuses, you're connected with your teachers, you're connected with your advisors, you're connected with your financial aid. Just making sure you have the tools to make this first semester the best semester you have, especially if you're returning to school. Like, you need to get your feet wet. You need to realize, oh snap, you are back in school. Because I can't even tell you the amount of times like I was just like, oh snap, I'm in school. Oh snap, I have school. Oh snap, I got homework. Oh snap, I gotta write an essay. It was too many oh snaps for me to even comprehend what the heck I was doing. So this first semester, allow yourself to get settled, to get used to the grind of going to school and get into a routine. Don't be out here talking about you want to join this, you want to join that. Girl, that's cute. Let's wait till next semester, okay? This semester, let's get our feet wet. Getting into a routine and starting your classes, first and foremost, when you're signing up for classes, make sure you are also checking in on what your degree, like for us it's a degree works, but it's basically your overall recommendation of classes you need to do. So your curriculum, your specific curriculum for your major. Now your advisors are there to help, but I always say double check because your advisors are working with 1,001 students. Like, they're not gonna remember everything and they might miss the ball. You know, they are human, they are going to make mistakes. For me, I signed up for 4 classes, especially because it was literally last minute. I was coming in, I was literally just getting classes that I need. I was still trying to figure out if I'm going to transfer my credits or not. It was a lot. So upon the first week, I realized there were 2 classes. When I went over, me took the time to go over my degree works and look at the classes and where they fall into the requirements I need to graduate. When I found that 2 out of the 4 classes that I had was going to be in the section that said not allowed, if you see this, that means your classes are not counting towards your degree. You need to drop those classes as soon as possible. I had 2 classes that was never going to count, and if I didn't do my due diligence to go over it myself, like, yes, you want to be respectful, but at the end of the day, it's your degree, it's your money. If these classes are not towards your major for you to graduate, please drop them. Make sure your classes are what is required for you to graduate. Always double check the work of your advisors. Make sure you speak to department heads. It's just important because you don't want to waste your time or your money. Let's talk about the professors. Okay, so my professors, I really had great professors minus one class. I had great professors, but this is the thing. When it comes to learning, you have to realize every teacher, every professor is not a great teacher. The same way everyone has their own learning styles, every type of professor and teacher have their own teaching styles. And some will not be adequate to help you. So you really need to make sure that at least you understand the material and you start creating a way for you to study and be able to pass the exams and be able to give in your homework on time and get everything done. Which leads me to the next point. So what I found helpful as far as connecting with classmates is creating mini study groups, like finding someone you either sitting next to or can relate to, or even just complimenting. I find that complimenting people open up the door to have a conversation and you can see if there's a vibe there. Now, the thing that I learned going through this process is that you're not always going to end up connecting with the person you just first meet. Like for me, I met a couple of people in the beginning of the school semester. It was like a few weeks in, and I ended up only sticking to 4 to 5 people, and then also to be open to randomly joining a study group. Like there was this girl in one of our classes, she was like, hey, we're starting a study group on WhatsApp, do you want to join? I was not vocal at all in that WhatsApp group, but the fact that there was information there that I could utilize, especially if you are a person that is introverted and you don't really want to talk to somebody, if somebody has like a full class study group, join it, because if you ever need information, you can always ask. I find that study groups, even if you're not really sitting down study together, just having a group chat really helps for you to be able to get information, because you never know when you're not going to be there. You never know when there's going to be something that you miss or something over your head, or even if you just want a better understanding of the material and you want to meet up with somebody. Having study groups, having one person you can contact, like don't be afraid to exchange numbers, even if you're online too. Like, you know, link up with somebody, because you never know, like that one person can really help to make or break your grade just by having that contact. So don't be afraid to, you know, even if it's not friendship, it's classmates, you're gonna need somebody. Okay, you can't do this alone. Now let's talk about managing time, baby. Managing time was the biggest thing that I just had a whole culture shock. Like between, especially if you have kids and you work, between working, school, and my daughter trying to find time to study, baby, you have to make sure you are on a schedule. You have to make sure you have routines in place. You have to make sure you have systems in place. This is the only thing that's going to help you be able to find time and manage your time wisely. As a part of the series, I will be doing a video specifically on how to get organized and how to manage your time, so be on the lookout. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos drop. Now, I did find making a Google Calendar was very helpful. Now, I did show a little bit of that in my day in the life of a college student video. I'll leave that description if you want to go ahead and check that video. But overall, I can say that it was a combination of things. It was my Google Calendar, it was having a bigger calendar, it was having a weekly review, it was having designated study times, it was switching my schedule up where I believe I went to bed at 9 and woke up at 3. I have a whole weekly vlog on that, specifically of me doing it and how I felt, and it was definitely baby, it was something different. But this was all an attempt to be able to maximize my time so that I had time to study as well as take care of all my daily needs. The biggest takeaway for me was just making sure I was on top of my syllabuses, and I feel like when you know what's going to be covered and when you know what's coming up, it can save a lot of time. And that's where my Google Calendar helped a lot, because I was able to actually schedule what I needed to read before the next class and what homeworks and assignments were due when the test was going to come up, so that way I have time to review. I could be able to work backwards on how much time I need to actually review, do my homework, etc. Which leads me into my study techniques. So my study techniques were a little bit different. I switched it up. A lot of times I would read before I went to bed. I would read in the morning. The only thing I did not do, I believe, was flashcards, only because flashcards for me is passive learning, and I will be doing a video on that as well, like different study techniques, because we all have different learning styles. I'm a visual learner and hands-on. There's 4 specific learning styles, so if you can figure out what learning style you are and then be able to figure out techniques that works for that, you will be able to excel. So again, I will be making a separate video on that, so again, be sure to subscribe. Next up, we're going to talk about financial aid. Now, I know this sounds weird, but be on top of your financial aid. If you see that your money has not dispersed to your classes, to your school, you need to be on them. They are not going to chase you, baby. Like, they're going to tell you owe the money, but they're not going to chase you to fix it. And that's something that I had to deal with all semester. I had to be on them every single day to figure out why I didn't get my grants and my money wasn't going through. And it was a whole situation that literally took the whole semester to figure out. But if I did not stay on top of them, baby, they will be looking for me for the money and I ain't got it. I ain't got that joy. So be on top of your financial aid. If you have applied for FAFSA, if you have a scholarship coming through, like, make sure you stay on top of it. If you yourself are paying it, make sure the payments are going through, because you do not want the stress of at the end of the semester and you're not able to sign up for your next classes. Because that's the thing, if your bill is not paid, they will not let you sign up for your next classes. Like, you will be on hold, and then by the time it's done, you're literally just scraping up whatever classes remaining, which can screw you over, especially if you need certain classes before you take another class, because some classes do require other classes as a prerequisite to take before you can, you know, move on to the next one. So make sure you are on top of financial aid. If you got to go there every day, go there every day, but make sure your money is paid, okay? At the end of the day, you are an adult, okay? I know sometimes it's a lot to be adulting, but you are an adult. They are adults, okay? You have to make sure all your ducks is in a row. You have to make sure that you are showing up for yourself. You are speaking up on your behalf. You are double checking people's work. You are not allowing anything to skate by, because again, if you are going back to school, if you are trying to make a better life for yourself, no one is going to show up for you but you, and you have to make sure you're doing that. It's very important. The fact that you already signed up for school, the fact that you're here, the fact that the semester is done, you got one down and a few more to go, you're doing it. So keep doing it for yourself, okay? Let's talk about prepping for exams. I think what makes it easier is if you summarize each chapter after you finish reading it and then write down definitions of different things. I feel like those two things really help, because it helps you to remember the material in your own words. When you summarize, you have to use your own words. A lot of times when we study, we're just copying from the book. If you summarize, that will help you to retain it, because you're now putting it in your own words and it's going to be easier for you to recite it. I found this super helpful when I was studying for my midterm. Unfortunately, I ain't doing it for my final exam, but it definitely helped with the midterm and made me realize I can remember more than what I thought. So be sure to prep pre-exam season, pre-midterm season. Like, you want to at least give yourself 2 to 3 weeks before the actual test to start prepping for it. As well as something my history teacher told me was finding the elementary school or kids version of the class you're studying, because a lot of times they break it down to like little baby words. And listen, this ain't nothing about your pride or your ego. Let it all go. You need to get the material. And if that means going back to elementary school to learn a subject, then baby, do that. Okay? There's no shame in your game. So what I look forward to in the new semester, I am actually looking forward to being on a better routine and schedule for myself. I'm excited for my new classes. I'm excited I'll be taking French. I love that language. My language class is really fun. I look forward to practicing my new study techniques to see if it works, because me and my best friend actually she came up with it, and I'm gonna do it to see if it actually works. But I think it's a great idea, which I will share later on. So again, if you have not already, be sure to subscribe. Thank you. But I will share that if it works. If it does not work, I will share something that works. Like, I look forward to better weather. I look forward to seeing my history professor again, because he's teaching another class and it's a part of my curriculum. So I was like, listen, you a good teacher. You a dope teacher. He made that hour just go by so fast. I'm just like excited now that I have the semester underneath my belt. I'm just like ready to just like get it through, like get it done with, graduate, baby. We're gonna walk across that stage, yeah. So that wraps up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you already know, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. And let me know in the comments, if you're going back to school, what you are studying, your major, and what are some things you're doing to prep for the new semester or your first semester. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.